Welcome to the coaching game. I'm Laurie Lawson, and look who's back, Terry Yoffe.
Yes,
Yay!
yay! We're back for our second segment
of Coaches Creating
Coaches
Change.
Creating Change.
And
How
we're
exciting.
We are just thrilled to be here, yes. What we did
Love it.
last time was we decided we'd start January nice and bright and say we are going on a journey. And this time we're going to be talking about the beginning of the journey and where are you, how do you get there, where do you go after you figured out where you want to go, and things like that. So I think, let me just tell you that this show is based on, we're combining
our ICF
bunch
core
of experiences.
competencies,
Yes.
aligning it with the points of
the
view.
points of view coaching game.
Brilliant.
And our personal experience. So we just say, okay, we're just bringing it all. We're going to bring it all and see where we end up here. So what we wanted to talk about was beginnings, and maybe we should talk about our beginnings. You know, our beginnings this year, or our beginnings in the coaching world, or a little bit of both. And then, or what we want to begin on. Maybe that's it. This might be the show,
What we want to begin on, I don't, beginnings is, a big word for a lot of people. And, at lunch, we looked up Lao Tzu's.
Terry used to have this wonderful quote under, she couldn't remember it, a wonderful quote under everything she wrote. And she was, I don't know, what did it say? But we looked it up.
Right, and it's a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And I think what I like about that is when clients go, not only go on a journey, but the beginning, I think sometimes they feel so overwhelmed that they think they're climbing Mount Everest. And rather than have them look at that, it's, okay, how can you take that and start with little molehills, which is a beginning.
And we are not we aren't anti-goals. I mean, it's great to have a long-term goal, but you're right. Sometimes it's just like, oh my God, I'll never get there, So it's like, okay, well, that's what a coach helps you do. Actually break it down into workable and doable steps and get you going in the right direction. So I'm trying to think of what my beginning is this year. I think what I'm beginning is, I'm continuing, but I really want to refine it. I decided, a couple of years ago, I am old enough that only thing I want to do is fun. If it's not fun, I don't want to do it. I'm too old to deal around with stuff that gets me aggravated.
Exactly.
So it's like I'm refining fun this year. It's like, okay, there's a couple of things that I'm not doing, that I am doing that aren't fun. And so I'm weeding that out, and I'm really beginning on this journey of, okay, how can I have fun? How can I help other people while I'm having fun? And what can I do to really flush that out? And I've always wanted to be of service, so I know that'll be a part of it. So, and then here comes Terry with this cool idea about, what about coaches creating change? And we do this, and it's like, okay, this is the beginning.
So this was a beginning for me, something we talked about last year and didn't come to fruition last year. So that's a beginning for me, is again being in service, getting the word out on coaching and the competencies and what's important about both of them. And for me also, a beginning is really looking at my message and how do I want to refine my message on my website and through social media. So whereas here I'm partnering with you, which is wonderful, and on my social media and website I'm partnering with someone else. So for me, beginnings is partnership.
I
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
So this is new for me. So I'm excited about beginnings.
Absolutely. And what I like about what we're doing is it's that it gives us a chance to review and renew our knowledge of the ICF core competencies in detail. It also gives a great chance, because I take these cards for granted because they're always there and I can always pull one, but to really go in depth with the cards and figure it out. And then to also relate everything, because I remember when, I think it was maybe about 6 years ago, and it was like, my resume is so crazy. I did this and I did that, and how's it all going to come together? And it did. And it was like, wow, who would have thought all these crazy experiences? So to take our experiences and say, you know what? We're going to bring it all to the table, and we're gonna share it with as many people as we can.
And,
so I think that's
a great platform to do it.
I love it.
You know, so with the point of view card, it's beginnings, and with the ICF core competency, it aligns with establishing the coaching agreement, which is a beginning with coaching.
How do you begin?
Right.
But first, let me show you the card. Which Terry and I go, okay, we didn't think we understood the hands last time. We really don't understand this. But I finally said, let me look up Legos. And yeah, this looks like a blank Lego board that you can put anything on. You can start anywhere, this corner, that corner, in the middle, build out, build in. So we said, okay, the potential's there. If it's not a Lego board, don't tell us, because we don't know. No, I don't think either one of us has a set of Legos at home, but it looks like a Lego board. So that's the beginning. So where should we begin with this session? There's some great quotes that, in addition to Terry's of the journey of 1,000 miles, begins with one step. It's like, okay, but I guess we question, where is the step? But one of the questions in here is the beginning necessarily, or all beginnings necessarily, an end to something else? What do you think?
I don't think so. I think that a beginning doesn't delete something else or put it to the side. I think it's all inclusive. We can have many beginnings. You can begin, if you're taking a course, you can begin your coaching, you can begin being a chef. So it really depends on what I call the container that holds everything. And we can have many beginnings. Does it mean that we have to let something go? Not necessarily. It might be seeing what's in front of us and tweaking it and saying, okay, we had this, but I don't really want this. How do I begin again? So you may take a blank page or a blank Lego set and add something or take something away, and it could be a beginning.
I like that. And I realize I said that, okay, there are a few things that I'm weeding out. So in my case, yeah, it could be. I think it's a fantastic way to look at the end of something, though. If something does end by intention or by happenstance, it's like, okay, this is over. Sad, maybe not.
Maybe not.
But so, what is the beginning? What could be a new beginning? So I think, it's not that you have to end something, but if you do, what a great way to look at it. You know? So,
and I think that in just to add on to what you're saying, the issue is a lot of people would rather hold on to what's not working because they're too fearful.
It's familiar. Yeah.
Right. It's a comfort zone, then start a new beginning.
Absolutely.
You know, one of the quotes I found was, I wish I had the courage to make a new start. And I think that's a stopgap for people.
Oh, I think it's huge. Right. Yeah.
So
I think, and it's funny, we were having this conversation also about that. I think a lot of people come to coaching not because they haven't succeeded, but because they feel like there's something more. It's like, I need something more. And that's fine. It's like, and that's a new beginning, but how do you know where to begin when what you're doing? I mean, if it's so much easier if what you're doing is totally unsuccessful. It's like, yes, I need a change right now. But if you're doing all the things that society told you and your family told you and your friends tell you should be doing, and it's like, oh, you still have that little itch. It's like, no, I need something else. Then I think that's where beginnings get trickier, only because it's like, what do I do? You know, because you don't want to give up the stuff that's working, or maybe you do, but you know, if you do, that does take a lot of courage. Yeah.
And, you know, therein lies the conundrum,
Yes.
if you will, and the dilemma,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
for people to take first steps with the beginning and, you know, aligning that with the establishing the coaching agreement when somebody says the first step is, what might I change? And then they say, maybe I can work with a coach. And
Or I don't know how to do this. I know something has to change, but you know, so maybe someone else can guide me, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when we look at the second core competency and aligning with beginnings, it's establishing the coaching agreement, which is, and I'm going to read the agreement.
Oh, okay.
Just so, if that's okay.
No, I think that's great. And let me just say, don't believe me, I will never tell you not to get a coach. But these are questions that you can also ask yourself if indeed you don't have a coach right now, and get a coach to help you refine it. So these are great questions, and it gives you a framework. It doesn't tell you this is the path. It tells you here's the parameters in which I want to work, but you can also break out whenever you want.
And I think that there's always more than one path.
Oh, yes.
You know, so you can start down something, and I think part of the issue is people believe I'm on this path, I am sticking to it, I'm staying with it.
This has worked all the time.
Right. Instead of, it's not working, let me veer to the right or let me veer to the left. And for a lot of people, it's letting go. So
it is, and let me just, I hate to beat this dead horse, but it's like for the people where it is working and it's still not, it's hard to get off that path because you realize this is working. So why would I remember I wanted to quit a job, and my uncle said to me, he goes, why would you quit when you're successful? And it's like, well, that's the only time I have the option. If I'm not successful, well, they're going to get rid of me.
It's a mentality. It's a mentality.
It's scary, and we know it's scary. We've all
exactly.
been there. Yes. So
exactly. But establishing the coaching agreement with the ICF core competency is understanding what is required in the specific coaching interaction and coming to an agreement with the prospective and new client about the coaching process and relationship. So you are using the whole, we want to call it Lego.
We'll call it Lego.
Where you might put a marker there as the beginning, and you know, figuring out where you want to go, what do you want to achieve through the coaching, and come to an agreement and understanding from the coach and the coachee as to what each one can expect. That's establishing the coaching agreement.
ICF is hot on the word partnering. Partnering
I love
with
that
the client.
Word.
Yes, that's
what
we're talking about. Yes,
that's exactly what
we're talking about. Our
about
partnership, but it's partnering with your client.
Exactly, 50-50.
Yes, or partnering with your coach, whatever, and you know, saying here's what I'd like, and just keep checking back.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I always say we're partners. It's a partnership.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like I'm here, you're there, or you're there, and it's, you know, the playing field is equal.
And that's one of the benefits of having a coach, because you do get a partner. You do get a non-judgmental partner who really has no dog in the game except to make sure that you get what, I think it's no dog in the fight, but whatever, to see what...
no skin in the game.
Yeah, no skin in the game, no dog in the fight, whatever. Thank you. Us and our quotes, okay. You know, to see just her goal is to see that her or his goal is to see that, you know, you get what you want out of these sessions. So that partnership is one of the most enhancing things, I think, or the most enticing things about the coaching relationship.
And, you know, also the coach lays out what their responsibilities are and are not. You know, we don't really give advice, and I think people have a misconception that they come and they think we're a mentor or consultant. Well, here's my problem, tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Until they
And sometimes
understand.
they're very disappointed because they're not ready for that partnership. They want to be told, you know, it's like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, all of us do. Gee, wouldn't it be lovely? But, you know, growing doesn't work that way. You don't get to grow and become, you know, certainly the coach's responsibility partly is to help a client gain new perspectives, to become more aware of who they are and what might be the behavioral patterns that really get in the way of their moving forward and having a life that serves them, whether it's personally or professionally.
And it will also, it's interesting, but once you've been a part of the coaching process, I know like I was meeting with a bunch of doctors last year, and I had one doctor who was explaining just in detail, I love her, she's a wonderful doctor. And I said, great, give me more information. And she was, I'm so appreciative of you because everybody comes here and they want me to tell them what to do. You just want the information. I go, yes. And I'm gonna angst over it, I'm gonna get crazy over it, but I want the information and then I can make my decision. Or talk to good friends like I did with Terry and say, what do you think about this? So it just helps you just being in a partnership where you can actually trust your own self, because I mean, whether it's up to you whether you trust your coach or not, but what you learn to
you
do,
better,
really,
or else you're with the wrong person.
Well, you're wasting time,
and money.
But I think the more important lesson is that you learn to trust yourself. And it's like, wait, you know what? Look, I didn't know I could do that. Or look what you've already done. The coaches are great at ferreting that out and going, let's take this skill and use it to get this done.
So it's certainly, I mean, one of the things I work with is a DISC assessment and strengths, and looking at their strengths and how strengths they have helped them in the past. So they're reminded of, oh, I used whatever that strength is, I know I can use it here. So I think that we all have clients that really have so many self-doubts, confidence, or self-worth or self-esteem that really interferes with their operating at peak performance, or even in life, how are they showing up? So that's the partnership in really having a client understand that you're there for them with no judgments, with there's no right or wrong or good or bad.
No mistakes, which is the hardest thing to learn. Nothing is a mistake,
there's no such thing as failure. Only feedback.
Feedback, opportunities, learning experiences, whatever you want to call them. It's just optimizing whatever's been going on. So some of the questions or some of the things that are involved in establishing the coaching contract is asking the client, or in this case it might be yourself, it's like, what do you want to work on? What is it that you feel needs improvement? And even if you don't know that, I think Terry and I both have tricks, and I'm sure almost every coach out there does, to sort of help you see. It's like a bag of tricks, and we'll call them skills. It sounds more honest.
Bag of tools.
There you go. And so it's like, okay, what is it that you feel right now you need to work on? You don't have to take on the whole world. It's just like, what's one little thing you could do? And you can build on the successes. And so that's kind of where it all starts. And then it's like, okay, well, if this is what you want to work on, where do you want to be? Now, Terry and I have differing opinions on that. She's thinking, how can you say that when you don't know where you are? But it's like, I think you need a loose thing, but we had this debate. And I don't think either one of us convinced the other, but anyway.
Well,
it's like,
I think there's no right answer or no wrong answer.
I don't either. I think there are some clients who say, oh, you know what, I'm at this job and I hate it and I want to be in a job where I can take care of animals. And there you go, that's a goal. How do you get there from here? Others may go, oh, I don't know. And that's okay not to know, because what's going to happen is you're going to explore options and you'll find which one is going to work best for you and which way it goes. You might also want to ask yourself, why is this important to me? What is this saying to my heart? What is it speaking to my core values? It's like, why is this important? And I think both Terry and I did that when we decided to be coaches. It's like, why are we doing this? We know how to be corporate people. Why are we doing this coaching? Well, and when we took it, it was like people didn't even know what a coach was. It was like, what sport are you coaching?
15 years ago for
me. Almost that long for me too.
Exactly.
So it's like, I think, what did that answer? What need did that meet for you, or what did you want to get out of it? And it's.
Well, I think you said it. For me, it was about having a purpose and helping people. And even though I was in the corporate world of advertising sales, what I liked most is really working with my clients in helping them get what they needed out of their advertising. It wasn't, I was greedy, I wasn't looking, oh, what can I, the dollar signs of getting it. It was really working with my clients, and they knew that I was there for them. And that was a sense of, helping them, a little different than what we do today, but in the same bucket of really wanting to help people flourish, helping humanity flourish.
Right.
And the more you can work with people and they come, they are done with the coaching and they really can say, oh my God, I can do this, or I can self-advocate, or I have more confidence and I can say no, or, it's just a great feeling. And to have clients say, who you haven't seen, I still have your voice in my ear. I still remember what I learned.
Wow, that's
so,
really, that's life-changing. That's wild. Let me ask you, were you the kind of person before you took coach training and all that people would come to for advice and you'd always be helping?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I don't think I had that shingle written on.
No, I don't think but so many coaches go, oh, pre-coaches go, oh, you can get paid for this? I do this all the time.
Right, yes, there are people that do that.
So, and that was me. It was like, really? I can get paid for people
But
coming
the difference is that we don't give advice.
Yeah, it's just...
There's ways of getting around that and helping them look at.
But we definitely listen. We definitely listen and maybe try to guide. But yeah, that's kind of, it's all a part of the journey. And the great part about being a coach is you just never stop learning. It's like while you're coaching, it's like, oh, I do that too. Let me detach right now, but I got to go work on that. I do this too. Or, oh, I used to do that, and here's how I do. It's always a self-gratifying experience, I think. And I just can't imagine any other. If I were making money in the stock market, I'd probably go, I think you just have to keep going. Well, that's what people do. You just keep going more and more.
Right.
And maybe it's satisfying. I don't know. I decided a long time ago, service is the way to go.
Yes, and I agree with you. And I think that one ingredient in really selecting a coach was one of the things that I say to my client, in my intake session, is where we talk about the coaching, establishing the agreement and what we're going to do, is it okay with you if I really challenge you? Because clients sometimes have a tendency to have some faulty thinking, or as we call them, stories about things.
Yeah.
And having the ability and a partner that's willing to really say, okay, I'm going to challenge you to what you're saying is huge. And I wonder how many clients are up for that, because that's tough.
It's very tough. But if you want someone who's going to agree with you all the time and go, yeah, that's fine. You have friends. Get a dog.
Well, then you're with the wrong person.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like I hope people who have decided, okay, I'm going to do this coaching thing, have decided, what, I may not like everything that I hear. But and you're not going to do that on the first session. You're not going to go, what you said was crazy. You're not going to do that.
But in setting the, in the agreement, I do.
Yeah. Ask
Let clients, how would you like to work? I mean, I said, if you're looking for someone to hold your hand and be nice, you've picked the wrong person.
Good for you.
I mean, they have to understand who they are partnering with or getting into bed with, because it is a very intimate relationship, which will be our next core competency.
Yes.
But so establishing the coaching agreement is the core competency, and aligning with beginnings.
Yes, because that's how you begin. And it's like, okay, and please don't think that you have to begin and know the answers to all these questions. You don't. You just have to have an idea. It's like, I know something is not right and I want to fix it, and okay, so let's go find out what's not right. and how you want to fix it. And then from there, you and the coach can work together to see what's going to work best for you.
And what you want to get, what your goals are or to get out of it.
Right. And so the thing is, how do you get started? And I think you like the quote that's in the Points of View book by Walt Disney.
Oh, I love that one.
The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing.
Right, right. As we know, so many people will say, well, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. And then 6 months later, oh, I haven't done it yet. I'm still waiting for a full moon. I'm waiting for rain.
A sign.
Right. And that's the sign of someone that doesn't have the courage to, or is stalling.
And I think and I find with myself, yes, I have a little sick relationship with fear. If I know I'm fearful, then it's like, okay, I got to do it, because now I know that's holding me back. So the thing is to just jump in. And if you're afraid to jump in, what I tell my clients is, take a look at 5 things that you've survived in your life. 5 things that you thought you wouldn't survive. And it's like, if you have those skills, you can jump in and get started on this, where you can easily jump out if it's not working.
Right. I do the same thing. What's one thing that you were able to overcome?
Yeah, that you said, oh, this is it.
Right.
This is the end of me. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's so just remember that it's like, you're not going to know all the answers, and you're not. If you did, why bother? You could tell us the answers, but you're not supposed to know all the answers. You're just supposed to be curious and have a desire to learn, to learn more,
to find out what's behind the curtain, so to speak.
Yes, yes.
And what might be not serving you.
Yeah.
In your life that. Some patterns don't serve us any longer.
And what skills do you have that you're not using? What skills have you let go by the wayside? When I do retirement coaching, it's like, well, what did you want to be as a kid? And it may be that you wanted to be a beauty queen. Okay, that might not happen. But you could be involved in a pageant. You could certainly, you could work with behind the scenes if that's really what turns you on. That's kind of shallow, but in my opinion, but not yours, if you like it. How can you adapt what you wanted? What gave you that fun thing as a kid, and where are you going to take it?
Right, exactly.
So it's like I think we are all on a beginning. We're inviting you to join us. Because we don't know where we're going. I mean, we got a lot of guidelines here. We got ICF, we got points of view, and so we're a little bit ahead of the game, and we've got our experience. But come join us, jump on in, and just see where we end up. We're all in this together, and if you hate it, you can jump out.
But we're all on a journey here, and we don't know where the journey is going to take us, which is kind of exciting.
Terry and I talked about this for a long time, and finally we just said, you know what, let's do this. We've been talking about it for a long time.
Exactly.
So please come and join us. We're going to be here the first Tuesday of every month, and we'll keep giving you all the knowledge we have that we've gained in a total of almost 30 years. Right. Oh, my goodness. But that's good.
Exactly.
So, Terry, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Laurie.
All right, and I'll see you next Tuesday.